Welcome to Twisted Reality's universe, where we explore alternate timelines, impassable scenarios, and mind-bending what-if worlds that flip reality upside down and reveal stories that might have happened in another corner of the multiverse. And before we begin, tell me in the comments, which city are you watching this video from right now? Now, imagine a world where a single choice shifts the course of an entire lifetime, where destiny bends not because of chance, but because of the quiet pull of the human heart. And in this twisted reality, Judge Frank Caprio, the man known across continents for his compassion, warmth, and remarkable understanding of the human condition, never steps into a courtroom at all. Instead, fate turns sharply, redirecting him into an entirely different universe, where he becomes a police officer, patrolling the streets not with authority as his greatest tool, but with empathy as his strongest weapon.
The story begins on a cold, gray morning in the early 1970s, where a young Frank Caprio stands beside his newly assigned police cruiser in Providence, Rhode Island. There is no fanfare, no applause, no hint of the impact this young man would one day have. He is simply a rookie in a stiff uniform, nervous but steady, filled with a quiet sense of duty. His training officer, hardened by the years, tells him the rules of the street. Enforce first, question later. Be tough. Don't bend, don't hesitate. But even on that first morning, Caprio feels something different stirring inside him. A belief that justice is hollow without compassion, and that enforcing the law doesn't always mean punishing the person. The day barely begins before his first defining moment arrives. A woman runs a stop sign, trembles as he approaches, and hurriedly explains that she's late for her second job, barely keeping her life together. Most officers would hand her a citation without a second thought. But Officer Caprio studies her face, hears the fear behind her voice, senses the exhaustion that life has draped across her shoulders. And with a gentle tone that surprises even himself, he tells her, "Ma'am, I'm not here to make your day harder. I'm here to make sure you get home safely." He sends her off with nothing but a reminder to take care of herself. That small moment becomes the spark of something extraordinary, a moment that will echo across years he has yet to live. As time passes, Caprio becomes an anomaly in the department. Kids skipping school don't get written up. Instead, he talks to them like a mentor, drives them to class, and makes sure they understand the value of their own future. People speeding on the highway are not met with scolding anger, but with this sincere question: what's going on in your life? He realizes most people are not reckless criminals. They're humans caught in storms no one else sees. When he encounters families living through hardship, he gives them far more than a lecture. He buys groceries from his own pocket, delivers food, and becomes the kind of officer who doesn't simply enforce the law, but elevates the humanity behind it. His colleagues whisper about him in hallways. Some say he's too soft. Others say he's too naive. But quietly, slowly, the city itself begins to change. Crime rates don't spike, they drop. Fear doesn't rise, it fades. Communities begin to greet the police with trust instead of anxiety, because Officer Caprio shows them something they never expected to see. A policeman who listens first, who understands the difference between a mistake and malice, who treats people not as suspects but as fellow human beings walking through their own battles.
Years pass, and Caprio begins to develop a reputation, not as the toughest officer, not as the most aggressive, but as the most compassionate. And then comes the night that changes everything. A shoplifting call comes in from a small convenience store just as the winter winds intensify. When Caprio arrives, he finds a teenage boy trembling, holding a stolen winter coat. The boy expects the worst: jail, fines, anger. Instead, Caprio kneels beside him and asks softly why he stole it. The boy's voice cracks as he explains that his little sister is freezing at home and they can't afford proper winter clothing. In that moment, Caprio doesn't see a criminal. He sees a child desperate to protect his family. And so instead of arresting him, he buys the coat. He buys groceries, he drives the boy home, he checks on the sister, and without making a spectacle of it, he leaves them with warmth, safety, and the memory of a man who treated them with dignity when the world refused to. The story spreads, not because Caprio tells it, but because the people he helped can't stop talking about him. His actions ripple across the city, waking something dormant in the department. Soon, other officers begin asking to ride with him, hoping to understand how he transforms tense situations into moments of connection. Mothers in the community tell their children, if you're ever in trouble, look for Officer Caprio. The elderly wave at his patrol car. Teenagers trust him enough to talk about their struggles. In a profession often associated with confrontation, he becomes something entirely different, an emblem of hope.
One afternoon, the police chief calls Caprio into his office. The chief has watched him for years, puzzled and increasingly amazed at how this officer, without seeking recognition or praise, has repaired bonds that most believe were permanently broken. The chief tells him, "Frank, you don't just enforce the law, you heal people. You make them believe in justice again. And that's something you can't spend your whole life doing from behind a patrol car." He urges Caprio to go to law school, not to leave policing behind, but to elevate the compassion he has introduced to the streets. So Caprio studies, works nights, attends classes, patrols during the day, and carries with him the stories of every person he ever met on the road. Stories soaked in struggle, fear, love, and humanity. By the time he earns his law degree, he is no longer simply a police officer or a student. He is a man shaped by decades of real human experience, molded not by textbooks but by the sobbing mother he once comforted, the frightened teenager he once helped. The lonely elderly man he once visited after a noise complaint became a conversation about loss and aging.
In this alternate universe, when Caprio finally becomes a judge, he brings the streets into the courtroom, not literally, but spiritually. He remembers the feeling of knocking on doors late at night. He remembers the desperation in people's voices. He remembers the cold, the hunger, the fear. Most judges understand the law. Caprio understands the lives behind the law. And so when people stand before him trembling, expecting punishment, he sees what he saw for years as a police officer, human beings fighting hidden battles. His rulings are fair, but they are also compassionate. He doesn't let people off easy, but he listens, he understands. And in understanding, he transforms justice from a mechanical system into a human sanctuary. People travel from different states just to watch his court sessions. Videos of his judicial decisions go viral, showing a judge who treats defendants not as case numbers, but as real people. In this twisted reality, the courtroom becomes the continuation, no, the evolution of his legacy as an officer who once chose empathy over enforcement. But the true beauty of this alternate universe is not in where Caprio ends up, it's in what he learns along the way. He learns that authority without humility is hollow. He learns that justice without compassion is fragile. He learns that even the smallest gesture, a warning instead of a ticket, a conversation instead of confrontation, can change the course of someone's life. Over decades, he becomes a symbol of something rare, a man who holds power but uses it gently, who understands that the world doesn't always need more punishment, it often needs more mercy.
And so, in this reality, the lesson becomes clear. Whether Frank Caprio wears a badge or a robe, stands on the pavement or behind the bench, his greatest strength is not the authority he carries, but the humanity he brings into every moment. His story reminds us that every one of us has the power to change lives through empathy. And now, as we leave this alternate universe behind, thank you for watching Twisted Reality's universe. If you enjoyed this journey into an imagined timeline, make sure to like the video, subscribe for more what-if stories, and share this with someone who believes compassion can change the world. Until next time, this is Twisted Reality's universe, where reality ends and imagination begins.